Cancer, hello there, my beautiful friends. We're going to do your general tarot reading for early to mid June 2026. Thank you so much for joining me today. You know, I appreciate each and every single one of you. So let's get right down to business as always and start you off with an oracle card here, just so we can dip our toes in the energy and see what's happening for the lovely Cancer Collective. Hope you're all doing fabulous and fantastic, my friends. Let's get it going here. My guide, spirit team, talk to me. What do we got for the beautiful Cancer Collective in early to mid-June? We are right around the corner from your birthday season, my friends. I hope you're planning the party. But yeah, let's see what energies, messages, insights we could take a peek at. And yeah, we're going to look at this first card real quick. Then we'll get into the full reading itself. At the very end, I'll pull you a bonus card from the Shadowland Tarot just to see what might be in the shadows or what shadow work you can lean into, which is always interesting. But let's get it going here. Let's rock and see what we got for Cancer. Early to mid-June. What's the vibe? What's the energy? Let's have some fun here. Let's get this card out nice and quick for my good friends. There we go. Cool. So this card is big when it comes to appearances, right? Now, this isn't necessarily a bad thing. This card can be very bold, very confident. There's some aspects about it that I really like, but then there's some other ones that we definitely need to watch out for. Now, before we fully dive into that, if you're new here, I'll be speaking about the June subscriber surprise towards the end, so you might want to check that out. And also, if you could kindly illuminate that like button by tapping it right on its third eye, I'd greatly appreciate it. But enough of the promo, back into the reading. Let's talk more in depth about this card. So as you can see, we have this lovely lady in that big blue dress. She has the wig and she's looking in a mirror, looking at herself. And there's tons of mirrors all throughout this room. Now, in the positive sense, this is a great card when it comes to self-confidence and how you view yourself, how you treat yourself. So in this time, it's extra important. Self-love, self-care, trying to look at yourself in a good light, assuming the best. All those silver lining things tie in heavily to this card. Now, for some Cancers, maybe you're changing something about your look. Maybe it's like your hair or your clothing, or maybe you have a big focus on physical fitness when this card is here, because it's important about how we present ourselves to people. That's a big thing. But confidence is the name of the game with this card. Now, since there is a woman with mirrors everywhere, this can also be a big card of self-focus. Now, there's nothing wrong with prioritizing and pedestalizing yourself, but I always say that there is a fine line between confidence and arrogance, right? And again, no judgment here. This could be someone else you're connected to that has a very inflated ego. I would just watch out for that in this time, like anybody that can't admit they're wrong and all that kind of stuff. But for the most part, this is great for your own self-confidence. So we're going to let her chill there. She's doing very important stuff. Let's get into tarot. And yeah, I always say that first card, it doesn't make or break the reading. It's just a little footnote. So let's get you 3 tarot cards in the upright. Then we'll get into that intuitive juiciness. Shuffle it up one time here for my Cancer friends. What do we got? And while we get this deck shuffled up and ready to go, let's talk about last week's reading. So the cornerstone of the reading last week was communication, and the reading was titled An Emotional Talk. And we all know that sometimes you just need to vent some things or get some things out. And that seemed to be a big theme last week, whether it was someone coming to you or you going to somebody else. There was a very emotional conversation in play, and that could still bleed over for a couple weeks, so keep that in mind. But we're going to see what shows up this week. As you know, energy is very fluid, never set in stone. So when we take this, how it hits for you, because we could be seeing your vibe or somebody else, right? Let's get it going. 3 cards here for Cancer. What do we have in early to mid-June? Cool. 3 of Wands. I like it. I think it's good. It's an energy that's looking forward. This can also represent like something that's almost here, where there's a certain sense of anticipation I always get with the 3 of Wands. Let's get a couple more. Cool. So we got Ace of Cups, position number 2. So far, so good, Cancer. So far, so good. Let's get one more out here, and we'll start piecing it all together. What do we got for Cancer? Cool. All right, so you're going to have a bonus here. So on the back end, we have the 3 of Swords. So this kind of negates, or they neutralize each other in a way. But you also have the 7 of Pentacles. Cool. So I would say overall, I'm feeling optimistic. There is a lot of silver lining to your overall energy this week, or the stuff floating around you. But let's go through. I'll give you some of the classical meanings and archetypes. Then we'll get into that juicy, intuitive stuff. But at first look, first glance, you know me, I always love to look at the elements. I feel like that frames the reading and tells us how the energy is going to flow. And we have all of them present, right? It's one of those rare times where every single element shows. We got fire, water, air, earth. Cool. Like Captain Planet. Now, these could be all different things, all different situations. Could be different aspects of the same thing for all we know, but they do balance each other off. And that's the one thing I was saying, especially since we have double threes as well. It's like these energies kind of cancel out in a way. But let's go through, get into them a little deeper. When it comes to fire, that represents action. So the actions we take, the actions other people take, the actions that we want to take, I would say it's very high energy when we see the fire. It could represent health, vitality, wellness. So whether your energy levels are up or down, this card is tied in heavily to the fluctuations. The only downside, because again, with the wands, the fire, it is a forward push. The only downside to this is that it could be up and down, right? Like fire could be volatile, it could be explosive. There's an unpredictable nature to it. Moving to the middle, we have your comfort zone. We have the water. So matters of emotion, matters of the heart, partnerships, imagination, creativity, any sort of artistic expression or hobby. There's like an outpouring of internal energy outward. So I think that's great. So whether it's like writing, art, you name it, like any form of expression is highly favored. But cups and water rule over partnerships and anything, person, or situation that we are emotionally invested in. The downside to the water, which I'm sure many cancers are well aware of, it always ebbs and flows. It's always up and down. So you see the little similarity these two share. Moving to the back end, we have the swords, logical, pragmatic, straightforward to the point. These are two internal energies. We have the heart and we have the mind. So the swords represent the mindset, how you view things, how other people view things. It's big when it comes to giving or receiving information. Swords are highly intelligent, thought driven types of energy, and it's like giving or receiving information. So it ties into communication as well. The only downside to the swords is that sometimes it could overthink, and swords can also be a little cold and detached and distant. Then we have Earth on the back end for your bonus that seems to tamp things down. That's matters security, stability, daily routine, work, money, business, home, and family. So you see, we have the whole smorgasbord here. Let's go through and start building this out piece by piece. Position number one, we start with our first three. So I do have to mention that we got the double threes, the repeating numbers. That's usually important. We'll see if we get any more. But the three of wands, we see this individual. He's like standing, looking out at the sea, and the boat is on its way in. That's why I say this is a big card for prayer, manifestation, creation of any kind, where it's like I visualize it, I'm pulling something to me. That's what this card is to me. It's pulling energy inward, which I think is really nice. And again, there's a certain anticipation that comes along with this card. So again, I'm not sure if it's an event, a date, or something. Like when I see this, it's like I'm waiting for this to come in. This is a big action card, so I do like it. Now, the downside of the Three of Wands, it can wait and wait and wait and wait and wait. So we want to see what the clarifier is with this, because sometimes it's an energy that could be a little stuck, right? So we do want to keep a close eye. But normally, I really like the Three of Wands. Because yeah, it's like something is coming towards you. So there's like a certain magnetism. It's like receiving a delivery of some sort. Now, moving to the middle, we have a beautiful card, very good card for a Cancer. We have the Ace of Cups. Now, I love all aces. I always say they represent offers and opportunities. It's fresh, new type of energy. So to me, I always get excited whenever we get an ace. This is really good. So whether you're watching this for just life in general or entertainment purposes or just work, personal relationships, the Ace of Cups is really fantastic because it could deal with emotional stability. Remember, I said these waters can move up and down. The Ace of Cups is usually pretty well planted. Now, it could just be a conversation like we saw last week, the emotional talk. This card does encapsulate that. But the downside to the Ace of Cups is I always say they're never guaranteed, right? Like any ace, it's like limited time only. You have to reach out and grab it. That's the thing. Now, moving to the back end, we have the Three of Swords. So, an important thing to note about the double threes in numerology, or at least how it ties into the tarot deck, threes represent like the groups around us, groups of people, other people's energy, not just ours. It's more than one, it's more than two, right? So, like we think of group dynamics. And the Three of Swords is one of the most iconic cards in the whole entire tarot deck, right? I'm sure everyone's seen it a million times. Three swords cutting through the heart. And I always say that this to me is always on a spectrum. So, sometimes it could just be a little gloomy. Sometimes, like maybe there's just a couple days you're feeling a little off. This energy can represent anxiety, anxiousness, nervousness. It could range all the way up to heartbroken. So we do want to look at this and say, like, all right, is this a situation? Is it a problem? Is it coming towards you? Is it someone else's energy intertwining with yours? All of that could be possible here. The good thing with the Three of Swords is the temporary, fleeting nature of it. So we'll see what's up. Now, moving to the very back end for your bonus, we have a very good stabilizing card, which I think is good. I'd say there's much more positive here than challenging. And we have this person, they seem to be doing what? Waiting. Patience. They're waiting for those pentacles to grow so they can reap that reward. So I generally like this because this card to me can represent patience paying off, a process paying off, and being rewarded in some kind of way. The Seven of Pentacles is also a karmic card of reaping what you sow. What you put forth, you get back in return, that good old energetic boomerang. So I want to dive deeper on all this, Cancer. Let's do it. Let's jump in and clarify. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here for you, my friends. And yes, this is where I go intuitive with the message, which means I just tell you how it feels to me. So feel free to do further research or rely on your base knowledge of tarot, because as you know, every single reading is about the reader's interpretation, and I'm just giving you mine. Let's go in on that Three of Wands. Let's see what that has. Oh, and yes, if you're a reader yourself, please feel free to play along. That's why the box is here. If you're feeling any messages you want to give to Cancer, could drop it in the comments. I don't mind at all. Okay, Three of Wands. What is this person waiting on, or what's coming in? Cool. Cool. I like it. It's another one of your power cards. I think it's really beautiful. So we have the Ace of Pentacles, and just like I've been saying, there's like this energetic vortex around a lot of the Cancer collective, where it's like we have this energy, it's like holding its frame, holding its center, and it's pulling all this energy towards it. So now again is a great time to pray, meditate, manifest, whatever tool you like to use in your spiritual toolbox to help bring things to you. This energy is like, oh yeah, it's coming. It's on its way. Here it comes. Here they come. Whatever way we want to phrase it. Now, the page is very similar in energy to the ace. They represent offers, opportunities, conversations. It's a fresh, new type of energy. So the fact that it's in the upright underneath this Three of Wands is actually really good, because it's like I'm waiting here and I'm letting something come to me. I'm letting it approach me, which I think is actually good. Now, sometimes there are points in life where you want to take action, you want to make a move, you want to push something further. But then there's also sometimes where you're going to get the best result if you let something come to you. That's what I'm picking up here. So I think it's good. Something is moving in. We're going to keep going. Big around communication already. So we'll see what comes up with these next two, because it could be very chatty. Like, especially now that we have like double threes, and then we have this person and another one. Like, I'm getting a very chatty talk based type of energy. Let's move in on the ace. Let's see what the Ace of Cups has for Cancer. So why is it here for my good friends? Thank you. Cool. Yeah, Lovers, very good. Very good. And it's the same thing. It's like them pulling energy to me. Now, Lovers in the upright, beautiful. It's angelic, Adam and Eve symbolism. We have the Archangel Raphael, the Archangel of Healing, which is really great. It is currently Gemini season. This is the Gemini card. So this card does a lot of really good things. Now, of course, it can represent partnerships. When I see the Ace of Cups with the Lovers, this is great for any sort of partnership, great for any sort of conversation. So it's like, you know how sometimes in life certain areas of life are falling behind and certain areas of life are pulling ahead? This could be the personal relationship area starting to evolve, pull ahead in a very positive way. If I were to just put a blanket statement on it, with all this energy I see moving in, and I already said here it comes, here they come type of energy, to me, I'm already getting multiple wins or victories here. I am. Because aside from partnerships, soul ties, soul connections, what are the Lovers? If we remove the partnership aspect, it's silky smooth, easy flowing, easy going energy where I don't have to rush, I don't have to pressure, I let something flow. And that's been a theme that I've been seeing for at least a couple of weeks in the Cancer readings, where it's like, do not force, let it flow. Do not force, let it work how it needs to work. And that's something, yeah, I've definitely been seeing it for weeks, because now it's like all coming back to me now. And that's how this feels, where it's like I'm in the flow state. Whatever comes, comes. Whatever happens, happens. It's like one of those. And it's not like you don't care about something, but it's like getting into that place of flow is super important. So, again, whether it's work related, career related, personal relationships related, all of it, it's like we're reaching some sort of flow state, which I really like. And again, the spiritual protection as well. Like, there's like this spiritual tie in to everything. We're going to move over to the Three of Swords, though, because that could be the pressure point. That could be the pain point. But we'll see what that has. Then we'll do a quick recap. So already we got wins, we got energy coming your way, we have energy flowing, which really seems great. And if you're cross watching this for Cancer, this also bodes very well. Just seems like the energy is reaching a nice state. So let's see what the Three of Swords has before we do our recap. Okay, cool. Yeah. All right. So we do have the Tower in reverse underneath it. And this to me feels like it could be something that there's history there, or it's something that happened like long ago. Like if this tower was in the upright, then I'd be a little more concerned because it's like, oh, the energy's going, the energy's flowing, boom, and then this happens. It's like, all right, where it, could represent a surprising problem, unexpected problem. But the main way it's feeling to me with the Three of Swords and the Tower in reverse is like this is something that's not new. So in this time again, watch out for things, situations, problems re-arising. Although there is this energy of flow right here in the front, there is still this energy, this problematic energy that's like lingering a little bit underneath the surface. So we could put whatever labels we want, whether it's like an invasive thought or whether it's a situation that's had a big impact on me. I love the flow, but this energy doesn't feel 100% healed just yet. Now, that's okay. This is a bit of a mixed bag, and I said it from the beginning. Most of the reading feels very good to me. But the Tower, Scorpio energy, usually represents shock. It represents upheaval. It represents clean slate. Hit the reset button, and it can represent endings. In the upright, when it's in reverse, this to me represents being on the other side of that tower. So whether it's a recent one with the Three of Swords and the Tower in reverse, whether it is something that's happened a long time ago where the energy just seems to be lingering a little bit, I do think that there's beautiful energetic potential for healing any past wounds here. But I would still say, even with this on the back end, and we shouldn't ignore it, but there's much more positive than there is challenging. The energy looks like it's looking up and moving forward in a positive way. So there could be something that is repairable, where it's like, okay, it's not always going to feel like this. It's repairable, it's fixable, if that makes sense. So let's go through and do a quick recap because, yeah, we do have this little problematic energy here on the back end, but most of the energy this week is pretty good. If you kindly look in the box, we do have multiple areas of wins here, in my opinion. Position number one, we have the Three of Wands with the Page of Cups in the upright, and it's like an energy vortex. I think I got this for you a few weeks ago. It's still here. Where like now is a great time to like really bring things forth. Where it's like you don't chase, you allow, you let the energy come to you, and that could be how it is in like the upcoming times where it's like the universe shows you this, and the universe shows you that, and the universe shows you this, and you just have to pick a path or pick something off the menu because this to me is energy incoming your way. In the center, we have the Ace of Cups, the Lovers in the upright. There could be big leaps and gains when it comes to personal connections and partnerships of all kinds, which I think is really great. But once again, the energy is coming your way. So could we just call this like a blanket statement win? Absolutely, because I'm getting an energy that's not trying, not forcing, it's allowing, and it hits a flow state. However, we get to the back end, we have the Three of Swords with the Tower in reverse. Maybe there's someone in your circle that's having a difficult time. Maybe there is something where there is a bit of history, and even though the energy is getting better, this energy is still lingering. That's okay. There's no timetable on healing. But what I can say is that any of these wounds that are still lingering can absolutely be healed and worked through, especially in this time for some reason. There's just something about this time period that really helps you move forward. So please take a screenshot if you want to look into it further. Let's see what's in the shadows. Okay, let's get a good shuffle here. And yeah, I always like to pull a shadow card at the very end just to see whether it's something within you or something you don't quite see. Shadow cards don't always have to be a challenge, they could be a good thing too. So let's get you one. And yeah, if you made it to this point in the reading, please feel free to check out channel memberships. I'll put a link for it in the comments below. It's a beautiful way to support the channel. I have much love for all my channel members. All right, let's get this shadow card out. What do we got? Nice and quick for my Cancer friends. Thank you. Cool. The Emperor, big Aries energy. So if you're connected to an Aries, this could be them showing up. And what's one thing I always think about with the Emperor? He's the King of Kings. He represents authority figures. He represents paternal figures. It's big boss energy. So in a positive sense, especially if you're linked to an Aries, this could be a really good thing. But the downside of the Emperor is sometimes, what does he do? He tries to control things too much. He tries to micromanage, right? Because the King of Kings wants things a very specific way, my way or the highway. So sometimes this energy can be a little bit overbearing. So it's funny that in the main part of the reading, we have this energy that's like, oh no, get into the flow, allow things to flow. The energies are moving how they need to move. And then in the shadows, we have this emperor where it's like, no, but I need to control the outcome. But no, if this doesn't happen this way, then it's not going to work. Like this energy needs to control the narrative. So watch out for anything like that, or again, any authority figures that you might not be gelling with in this time when we have this emperor. Because the need for control could throw things off. So we're going to put him down right there, Cancer. That's what I got for you this week. Don't click away just yet, though. I'm going to give you the details of the June subscriber surprise. If you would like further insight on your situation or you'd like to have a chat with me, you can book a personal session with me on my website, mastermetaphysics.com. My June calendar is live and spots go quick, so you could go check that out. But for the June subscriber surprise, doing another winner's choice. The winners, which will be 3, will have a choice between either the Everyday Witches Tarot, which is a lovely tarot deck, one of my all-time favorites, or you can choose a custom pendant from my website, mastermetaphysics.com. So if you'd like to get your name in for that, it's 2 simple things. As always, my friends, first, you must be subscribed. And second, let me know down in the comments, out of all the tarot cards in the deck, which one do you feel represents you and your energy best? You could even pick multiple if you'd like. You'll be entered to win, and at the end of the month, the winners will be announced in my community tab /post tab. My friends, much love, and I'll see you soon.